Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. I'm your tech artist today for Nero-Minded. So today we're going to talk about the Material Consolidator. And what the Material Consolidator does is pretty much what the name says. It takes a static mesh with multiple materials, scans them, gets all of their textures and sorts them into texture arrays, and then essentially processes a vertex channel of your choosing to map out those textures to each of those vertices. You can totally skip this and jump right to the tutorial, which is right over here at this timestamp. So who's this tool for? Pretty much any game developer or even modder who needs to consolidate draw calls, which is a lot of people. I used to search endlessly on the marketplace looking for tools that would allow me to do the types of things that this tool will be able to do for you. The Material Consolidator is the first in the optimization series. And the goal that I have as a tech artist is I want to make tools that make your life easier in Unreal Engine. So the nice thing about texture arrays is it's very non-destructive. Your material actually gets to reference these textures that are essentially being strung together as one big texture for your material. You can reduce the texture resolution in the texture array, which will reduce the output of the resolution for all the textures within that array, which is really handy. But that also brings us to one of our caveats. And this is one of the things to watch out for if you're using this tool, is it will take the highest resolution image and now every single texture in that texture array is now being output at that resolution, which can be bad, especially if you're using, if you got one material that's 4K and then you got another that's 512 or 256, that's now being stretched up to 4K in your memory. That's not good. But what you can do is you can lower the maximum resolution in the texture array settings to try to alleviate some of these issues. So another caveat of using this tool, if you have a lot of granular control in all of your materials, like you have multipliers for your roughness or your metallic, things like that, this is going to be a little challenging to transition to. Reason being is you lose that individual control because now you have one material instance for all these materials. So what I've done in this, if you do want to use this tool and you're like, man, crap, I can't use this. Well, hold on. You can essentially, in some of the newer versions of Unreal, you can actually process individual channels of your image to adjust the contrast, do different things like that to essentially get the multiplication for those textures in this material and still have that wonderful one mesh draw and one material call. And in my opinion, I think that's very worth it in a lot of cases. So I want to give a huge shout out to Akairo for letting me use these assets in this tutorial. And the only reason why these assets need optimizing in this case is I merged multiple meshes in his set in order to make this example. But his assets are actually great. They don't need a ton of optimization. They're doing really well. So go ahead, go over, click the link in the description, give him some love. All right, let's jump right into this. So you're going to want to head to the link in the description and go ahead and get the Material Consolidator. Then once you get it, there's going to be a folder that you can extract from the zip, and this folder is going to go directly in your project. So when you open up your project folder, it's the same directory as content. You're going to essentially put it in the plugins folder, and if it doesn't exist, you create one. And you just put it right in there and you should be ready to go. So you can go into your plugins, and under your project there should be this Material Consolidator. If not, just search for Material Consolidator and it should show up. Just make sure it's checked on. We're going to check for the geometry script. And just make sure that this geometry script is turned on. And then we got editor, utilities, I believe, scripting. Yep, editor, scripting, utilities should also be on. If not, check it on and restart your editor. All right, we're just going to take a look at this mesh here that we got. And thanks again, Akairo, for letting us use these assets. So if we inspect this asset, so over here, this has 17 materials, 0 through 16. It's got a lot of materials. What we're going to do is we're going to set this up so that it's going to be consolidated down to one material. So what I have here is I have some assets with different base materials. So this one has this rename, which has diffuse alt, normal alt, SRMH alt. It just has some alt names different than some of the main materials, which do not. Just so that you can see what you can do in situations where you have materials that have the same setup, normal maps, ORMs, or in this case, it's SRMH, and you want to have it use the same material. And that is important. It does need to use the same, whatever your source material is, it needs to be the same. So let's check out our source material. So if we go over to this plugins folder, if it's not visible, you're going to want to go to settings and then just click the show plugin content. But once you do that, you go down to this Material Consolidator content, and there's going to be blueprints. This is going to be our tool we're going to use, but first we're going to check out this template material. So I'm going to open up the base material, and this is just a very, very basic setup for you. So if you're going to want to make your own, you're welcome to use this material, of course. But if you're going to want to use your own, this is the important part to use. So you're going to want to set up your individual texture arrays, these param 2D arrays. That's an important part. And then using this here. This is an important piece, this array number. This is a part of the way to calculate. Don't forget to have this multiplying in this B and this lower multiply. And remember that name, array number. If you change it, just remember it, we'll need it later. And say you have some UV information that is, a little bit more complex, you can actually just grab your UV info and plug it in right to this and then get rid of this. If you already have UV logic in your material that you want to use. So, I'm just going to undo all this. So, yeah, should be good to go there. Next, we're going to open up the material instance. You'll see we have this array number, which again, you don't have to mess with that. That should automatically be processing. And then it has your arrays. So let's go check out these provided arrays. Again, you can make all these yourself, no problem. So I provided 3 different texture arrays. They are completely empty. These index arrays are going to be duplicated, so you can keep this as a template for many other meshes. Set your MIP settings, texture groups, whatever you want to do there. This is going to store all of your textures for your diffuse, or actually whatever it is. In this case, it's going to be the diffuse. And this one's going to be normals, and this one's going to be ORM. And I made a sample texture that's literally the resolution, if you look at the dimensions, 1 by 1 for these, just to be really small. For normal, and this one's for color, and then ORM. Let's drag out this mesh here. Put it at 0, 0, 0. If you come over here to this plugins, Material Consolidator blueprint, you're going to find this BPMC tool. That's Material Consolidator tool. Just going to drag that out into your level. And the first thing you're going to need to set is this original mesh to convert. So you're going to want to select your mesh and navigate to it. Then go back to your blueprint, which you can do either here or there. And then you're going to just want to select that. The next thing you want to do is verify which material you're going to want to set for your material instance. I am going to use my material instance example, but this is going to be a material instance based off of your base material that is using this logic. And this is where we're going to remember this array number. The array number is what goes here. If you change that name, you're just going to want to rename this here. What you're going to want to look at are these texture parameters: color, normal, and ORM. And again, you can have multiples of these. However many textures you have in your materials, just make sure if you're using 4, 5, or 6 and say only one material uses that many and the rest only use 3, it's going to have to use a bunch of dummy images on all those others. So just be careful of that. But so you're going to want to match those names. So we got color, and then in this case, we have that same texture here, that texture array. Again, you can make these whatever you want. And then a fallback texture. This is there in case, for whatever reason, something messes up and it can't read the texture. It's going to put in a temporary one, and you can replace it later or just use the temporary one. So we got color, normal, ORM. Now, the next important thing, what this uses is vertex color in order to store the texture data. I put these, I just put in random color information just so that you can see the different, there's information on each channel. I'm going to use the red channel for this example, but you can use any single one. So if you do end up changing this vertex color channel, be sure to change the color here in this graph into this multiply, whichever one you end up choosing. Don't forget to do that, or else you're going to get some messed up effects. So if you go back to this tool, you can change whichever channel you want to use for this. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check after you get that stuff set. Last down here, we'll just scroll down. There's this save location. So if you have your project set up where you want to have your meshes be in a very specific location, you can have these different folders set for different, the mesh location can go here, the texture arrays can go here, and your material instance can be saved here, because those all need to be generated. Or you can click this button and it will go to this, and you can change this to whatever you want. And I'll just make it example. So, all right. So I think we're all set. Let's generate. And if we go to this generated folder, you'll see it made this example folder. And now we have a material instance. We have a duplicated static mesh that's going to hold everything. But of course, as you can see, everything is still unprocessed yet. The materials and the textures all inherit the name of the static mesh. So keep an eye on it, and it adds this converted at the end. So the first thing you're going to notice is up at the top, this is where you assign the texture to the actual channel. You want to assign these based on the index. So 0, color is 0, normal is 1, ORM is 2. So 0, we'll keep that there. Normal is 1, so we'll do normal will be 1. And then ORM, or in this case, SRMH, will be 2. The emissive mask, see, I'm not going to use this. This was a material, I made this as an example, so you can just go right over here and delete. But if you had one in your template before you hit generate, you would want to add another channel and name it whatever the channel is, and then you would go and essentially assign an array template and a fallback texture, and then you'd be good. But I don't want that. So we're going to just delete this. So back up here. So you're going to might have some materials that are made from different places, and instead of diffuse, it might say color. Again, we're just going to want to keep this setup 0, 1, 2. So 0, in this case, this is 2, and this is going to be 1. And scratches I don't need, so we'll get rid of that. Diffuse 2, that's yet another material that has a different naming for that texture. So we're just going to leave that at 0 so it can match with that color channel. And I'm using these different names specifically to try to emulate the different types of situations you're going to run into. Warning, if you have a material that has, say, a color and an extra setting, you don't want to have both going towards color or both going towards normal or both going towards ORM. You're going to mess up the counting of the texture arrays, and it's going to be a mess. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to process these meshes. So let's go ahead and generate, and I'll come back after it's done. All right, and that's done. So let's go back to that generated folder. Here you go. We got this material, the mesh, and these texture arrays. Now, these texture arrays are all populated with 17 images at 4K. Jeez, we'll come back to that. But we got that normal and our ORM. And yeah, everything looks great. Yeah, okay. So now for the magic. Let's drag it out here. Pull this up. Now, if we scroll up here, look at that. One material. Everything's the same. We got our specularity work, and everything's working. Everything's plugged in correctly. Let's take a look at this. If we go to mesh paint mode, you'll see that the red channel that we chose has all these different shades of red, and that is what's telling our material be a texture for this one, and for this shade, and this shade, and this shade, and this shade. And that's how I'm kind of cheating the system. And if you open up the material instance, you'll see this array number is now at 17. That's auto-generated. It's using that. So if you have, for whatever reason, if one of your texture arrays has, in this example, say 17, and another one has 15 or 12 or 2, you're going to have problems. It's not going to work correctly. So you're going to want to make sure that all of your settings are set properly. Let's go ahead and check these other channels. And sure enough, it should have brought over all of your other channels as well. So if you're using your alpha channel to say blend between 2 materials or something like that, that can work for you. And I did do a setup like that, and that could be another video. If you're interested in seeing another video like that, let me know, comment below. We're gonna scroll down to the bottom. If you need to start over or whatever, you want to hit delete generated assets to clear that out of there. It's gonna clear all that stuff out. Then you're gonna want to reset generated outputs. So that's gonna get rid of any of those texture settings. One last thing I wanted to show you fine folks was with these texture arrays. As you can imagine, something like this, if whatever your largest image is in this is going to be the resolution of all of these textures. So if say you have one 4K and then you have a bunch of 512s, it doesn't matter. They're all going to be upscaled to 4K, and that could be a problem. So one of the things that makes texture arrays really cool is you can kind of globally scale those textures down. What you can do is go down to advanced underneath the compression section is say 512, and you'll see it's processing. So now all the textures in that color channel are now 512, and that's going to be the max in game. So if we look at this, this is 185 megs. So if we put this down to say something like a lot lower, like 512, we're down to 3 megs, which is crazy. Now, again, you know, that you might not want to scale it down that much. That's pretty low. But you can just find a middle ground, and it's really quick. It's really easy to do. I find that very powerful. All right, guys, that about wraps it up. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, share, all that stuff. And if you want to see something, a specific type of tool, let me know. I know probably a lot of you want to have this work for skeletal meshes. And if you do, comment below, let me know. The more of you guys letting me know the tools you want, there's a higher likelihood that that will be my next project in the optimization series. See you guys.